optimal play in a Nuzlocke doesn't really doesn't always incentivize not losing Pokemon. Welcome back to ExtraHolidayGames. I'm ExtraHoliday, and this guy says the area up ahead is dangerous, and we happen to know that that's true because Scout's been there. Yeah, there's some pretty high levels in there. Some pretty evolved Pokemon. And yeah, I don't think we're quite ready for that just yet. Maybe I'll dip in there just to see if I can't grab an item or two, but then again, maybe not because I can't use Poké-Dolls with Troopa, so actually maybe we don't. If we accidentally run into something in that cave, then that's going to be a big problem. We are likely to lose someone in that case, which is not what I want to do. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to... I'm still trying to think of things that could make a Nuzlocke more true to what it was originally meant to be. Because last episode we kind of ended on the note of, well, you could take away rules for each gym you beat not losing a Pokemon, or each challenge in the case of, this game, how I'm treating this game. Yeah, we're not going in there. But you could also potentially, you could add rules if you do lose a Pokemon. That's probably the most effective way to do it. And that kind of makes it a little snowbally in the other direction, but I think that's probably the smartest way to do it. And I've definitely come up with that idea before, but I definitely forgot about it last episode. But yeah, that's probably the most effective way, is if a Pokemon dies, then you add another rule, which means, that would make it so, yeah, you don't want your Pokemon to die, but theoretically there are scenarios where you still might want to sacrifice a Pokemon just to get through a situation, right? But I think if you made the consequences for losing a Pokemon more, the cost of losing a Pokemon greater, then that would be a solid way to ramp up the importance of each Pokemon. So I think ultimately, if you ever see a true blue Nuzlocke, I say that arguably it wouldn't be if we were running this rule set, but if you're ever to see something more akin to a regular Nuzlocke on this channel than what I'm doing now, then it would probably be in the form of a challenge like that, where I would probably restrict the number of Pokemon I can get, and I would probably, more so than a regular Nuzlocke, and I would probably add rules if Pokemon died. Because that would, although you could argue that adding rules if a Pokemon died also kind of goes against the spirit of the Nuzlocke, because then you're not really as much caring about whether the Pokemon dies because, well, it's, Pokemon's dying, right? It's life fading away. You're not caring about it as much for that reason as you are, oh no, if it dies, I have to deal with another rule. But I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Alright. What is... Frick you, Nimble. I am so tired of running into random little Pokemon that you just can't see. How did did I even get to Quick Clause? I don't know. It's not a rule that I ever, like, explicitly follow, but one that I kind of try to do is trying not to give 2 different Pokemon the same item in the party as a held item. Personally, it just seems a little boring to me, but I think this time I just didn't notice. That is a Steel type Flittle. I mean, we can't really... I mean, we already added the rule, I guess. I think I still haven't put it in the description of the videos. We did add the rule already that Troopa can't do raids. That is a rule that we added, so... I guess one other way you could do the whole Nuzlocke thing is you add rules. Well, I mean, that would be kind of... I guess that would just be making it strictly harder. You add rules regardless of whether a Pokemon is lost or not, just at certain points in the game, right? Like, oh, once I beat the 5th gym, this rule goes into effect. Which... I guess maybe that would be the best way to do things, because if you do that, then you're kind of... The thing about Nuzlockes and generally Pokemon challenge runs in general is that you typically reach a point where it doesn't really matter. Losing Pokemon doesn't really matter because you have enough Pokemon. However, if you're doing a challenge where the rules ramp up independently of whether you've lost Pokemon, then it could be that the rules do end up mattering. You know, regardless of the fact that, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that could be it. Also, I just had an idea. Maybe you could like put rules in a randomizer, you know, and like roll for what rules are added. That would be, so you can't necessarily plan ahead, because that's the thing. The thing that I've learned about challenge runs in Pokemon is that they're like pretty much entirely about, we were just up there, weren't we? Okay. They're pretty much entirely about game knowledge, right? They're about whether you know the type matchups, whether you know Pokemon stats and move pools, whether you know what trainer has what Pokemon. And that's why probably the most powerful thing for any sort of Pokemon challenge run is just looking things up, which is partly why I banned looking things up for this challenge. I'm gonna switch to Yip because I anticipate that this guy's probably gonna explode. So I think... Oh. Okay. Nice. I called it, by the way. I do think, personally for me, I don't like the idea of looking things up in a challenge run. I don't like the fact that that is the most effective way to play. Because it's not really fun to me, you know. It's like anyone can pull up a website and be like, okay, so this trainer has this and this, and here are the exact stats and exact damage ranges. So if I plug it into the damage calculator here, and it's like, it's not really playing Pokemon. It's more like doing homework, you know. Just how I see it personally, but. I mean, obviously, it's not a bad thing if other people like it, but it's certainly not something... Wait, there's a stake down there? I don't think I spotted that as Scout. Well. Gonna have to get to that, I guess. Or maybe you know what? I think I did go down there as Scout, but I don't think I got up to that part. So we're going to have to come back there. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing is that, you know, want Scout to do is check on that first door we did that's obviously connected to the stakes. Steel Strudel. Neat. Yeah, it's... So, yeah, I think... For me personally, any sort of challenge run I do in Pokemon, I think probably the first rule of any of those going forward is going to be, yeah, I don't get to look stuff up. Because... It's not fun. It's not fun to me, you know? Again, I'm not trying to put anyone down here, right? Like, I know, yeah, it's just not my vibe. For me, it feels more like, I guess I'm like the school system in a way. Well, at least when I was in it anyway. Where I like to put more emphasis on, you know, what do I have up in my noggin here? All right, what do I know in my head as opposed to, because, you know, especially nowadays, you can look up anything and find an answer. Maybe it's not the right answer. Maybe it's, you know, someone lying on the internet. Who'd have thought? But you can find an answer for anything nowadays. So for me, it feels like more of a challenge to be like, okay, what can I remember? Right? And that's partly why, I mean, it's also partly just because I'm kind of lazy. But that's partly why I haven't been taking actual, like, notes in this challenge. Because I could do that. I could be, you know, when I'm playing through a Scout, I could be like, okay, write down, you know, on physical pen and paper, like, this trainer has this Pokemon with these moves. And we didn't see all the moves, but here's like 3 of them. But for me, it's just like a memory challenge. I think a memory challenge is cool. A cool part of playing Pokemon, because that's how I've always played Pokemon, is just learning by doing rather than looking it up, you know? I mean, sure, in the past I also had friends I would talk to about Pokemon, and they'd be like, oh yeah, this and this happens. And, oh, did you know you could do this? And you know, it's like, oh, I didn't. And I mean, it's weird. It's weird, the distinction between, like, talking to your friends about something and looking something up, because theoretically it's the same thing, right? It's people communicating with each other on a certain topic. But yet somehow it also feels inherently different. Like, man, it's hard to explain. Right, it feels, I don't know what it is about it. It's just oh my god, there's so many Pokemon here. Why is it always Nimble? Why is it always Nimble that we're running into? I feel like I need to teach Witch something to deal with Nimble specifically. Ugh. It's fine. It's a pretty sinister face. Wait, hold on. I want to check something. Okay, I was gonna say, like, I noticed when I was looking at this side of Yip that, like, she's got that side mouth thing going on that Sonic frequently has. But I was like, but when they do it with Sonic, a lot of the times they'll only have it on one side. But I wanted to check. Yeah, she has it on both sides. So that kind of solves that problem, I think. Because it looks weird. Because when Sonic has a side mouth and you look at him front on, it looks kind of weird. But that is not the case here because the mouth actually extends from one side to the other. It's just that the ends are curled up to make it kind of look like a side mouth. But it's not a side mouth. Anyway, I digress, I guess. All right. So, I'll probably do some more digressing next time. But as for this episode, that's a wrap. You son of a bitch. That answers one of my questions.